What up there, Mikey's crew? It's good friend Michael here, and we're here for another race. This is the Peacock Strut, the 2018 edition, down here in Portage, Michigan. As you can see behind me here, there's plenty of construction going on down here. I had no idea that there was any construction going on down here. So they're getting a new building here, obviously, here at the Celery Flats site. So part of the route today is going to be completely different. Also, the parking lot over there where we parked is much bigger now, so a lot of people can park over there this year instead of having to go farther down to park, so that's a good thing as well. So the route this year, just a little different. Usually what we do is obviously we come around the little pond here and then come up the little hill and finish like right here in front of the building. Well, today with the construction going on, obviously we can't go through there, so there is a route, there's a path actually that would take you behind where the building is, and so we'll finish over on the other side. So it's probably like the same distance what it would be from here around here, so we'll just do it in the back. I'm sure that's not that big of a deal whatsoever, and probably once the construction's done it'll probably go back to the regular route that it was before that anyways. So it's a nice cool morning, I would say. There's definitely some fog out there, so we might see some fog out on the course in some portions, probably maybe out on the trail especially. Maybe not on the roads, but on the trail, we'll see some fog out there. It's currently temperatures are around about 65 degrees or so. There is going to be a little bit of humidity in the air. Not as, cool as maybe what we'd all like it, but it's definitely not oppressive like it has been for the past few weeks, where the dew points have been in the 70s and it's been completely uncomfortable to run. We'll be able to get a little bit better times today because of the cooler weather, which will be great. It's going to be sunny, clear skies as well today, which is great, unlike what's going on the East Coast with Hurricane Florence. So hopefully everyone in those areas can stay safe from all the wind, the flooding, and the storm surges, and just all the nasty weather that's happening out there. But anyways, here in Michigan, we've got, nice, beautiful, clear skies, sunny, and temperature's going to be in the mid-60s for the 10K. By the time the 5K comes around, the temperatures will probably be around 70 degrees or so. So the 10K starts at 8 a.m. and the 5K will start at 9:30. And I am going to be running in both today. This is the first time I think in about 3 years that I've done both. And 5 years ago today, yesterday, so that would have been Friday, this race is being held on a Saturday, I ran my first 10K, which happened to be here in Portage at the Peacock Strut, and that happened to be my best time too. I got 41:53. I have not broken that. I would like to try to break that today. I'm going to try to run around a 6:40 pace. If I could do that, it would definitely put me under, if that average would put me under what I would like to do for the 10K. And then what we'll see for the 5K is what we have left. When we start the race, if my legs feel great, I'll try to maybe run 6:20 to a 6:30 pace. If they feel tired, we'll probably try to go for the 6:40 pace and just try to go for a easier 5K run for me. There's going to be a lot of people here. I think there was over about 300 people registered for this race, which is great to see. Some big numbers for this. So there'll be people doing just the 10, just the 5. There'll be people doing both races. It's going to be a lot of fun here at the Celery Flats for the Peacock Strut. Oh, almost forgot to tell you what the route is. Although, I mean, you might have known from past videos of this race what the route is. So we start up on Kingston, which is just through these bushes over to my left here. That street, we start up there. With basically, you get a nice little downhill start. Then you'll turn right out onto Garden Lane.
Which is behind Michael right now.
Yep, which is the road actually right behind me. You'll go all the way to the end of that street. You'll make a left-hand turn. I forgot what the name of that road is. Oh, I got the map in here. Why don't
why don't you look up
Why
on
don't
the
I
map?
just look it on the map really quickly? Then I can tell you exactly what road that you're going to be turning out onto. So you turn onto Romance Road for the next portion of the race. This is actually the 5K route. And once you get onto Romance, you'll actually go under. You'll take a loop, go under the bridge. You'll go out on the Bicentennial Trail. This is the 5K part, so you'll turn around here, but the 10K will go out a little bit farther. You'll actually go over Millam. There's a little walkway bridge area which crosses Millam. It's over the road. So you get a little, that's like really the only uphill part of the course. You get a downhill after. You'll go out a little bit farther, then you'll turn around, come back, you'll go up the hill and over, over the bridge and down again, and then just come back, cross under the bridge again, and then come up to the Celery Flats finish line, which is right over behind me. And the 5K route, it starts up just a little bit farther on Kingston. You'll go the same route, except you won't go out as far. You'll have a different turnaround point, turn around, come back, and finish at the same spot. Last year they had an issue with the 5K. There wasn't someone standing where they should be for the turnaround spot, and so some of the 5K runners ended up going out farther than what they should have. It was an unfortunate thing. But anybody that was involved in the 5K race got a discount code that they could use to register for.
And you knew the course, so you didn't...
And I knew the course, so it didn't affect me. But anybody that was in the race, that was in the 5K race, could use the discount code to get a discount on today's race for that mistake last year. So I'm going to go get set, get ready for the 10K start, and get ready to run.
And I'll be your video photographer for this morning,
Kathleen.
And your audio, which is me, Kathleen. So I'll see y'all later.
And she's awake.
Ha ha ha. Here comes the runner. Come on, Scott!
Thank you.
Go, Scott! Hey, there's the man of the hour. Let's do this, Michael. Get with it. Ooh, we got a lot of runners today. They're still coming. They're all coming. Looks like a herd of runners. Hi, buddy. Hey. Look, I'm all coming. And they're still going. There's runner after runner. Look at them coming. They can't cross right now. Oh, that's a lot of runners. For 10Ks.
I have no idea where the
More than you think. Woo. Now we're starting to clean up.
Right, first place runner of the 10K, bringing it home. Nice job, way to go. First place runner,
Oh, he started out first.
Julian Borse from Kalamazoo. Congratulations to Julian on a goal. Loudon from Richland, Michigan. Come on, Michael, good job.
Michael, go!
Way to go, Mike.
Go, Michael,
Excellent.
go! What are you seeing? Second?
Yeah, there I am, 43 flat. Yeah, well, that's funny. 43 flat exactly. 43,000. 10K race in the books for the 2018 Peacock Strut. Did not get my best time, unfortunately, overall. But, you know, I still ran pretty well. I got 43 flat for my time. So, and I mean, I had a 42, I think, flat this year as well. That was at the Raiders town. It's funny too that my time was actually 43.0, and then it was actually 0 for the tenths of a second as well. So that was pretty cool. I'm just walking around right now trying to keep my legs loose because I got the 5K race coming up still as well. So Started out first mile, had about a 6:32 pace at the first mile, so it was a little faster than what I wanted, about 8 seconds faster, but that wasn't too bad whatsoever at all. I gotta watch out because the cars are coming. Right now, I'm gonna cross over and get on the sidewalk over here. So, first mile was 6:32. I was feeling pretty good. What always happens, not always, but what happened sometimes during races happened here today, and I ended up by myself basically the whole race. I could see Morris and Chris up in front of me, and I tried to keep my eye on them, but once we got out into the trails, I lost sight of them just because of the fact, you know, all the trees out there on the trail. It was a little humid during the run as well. For some reason, I always have to blow my nose a lot when it gets humid out. That didn't have to wipe too much sweat off my face, thank goodness. That gets annoying when I have to do that. Second mile, I was still feeling pretty well. I had around a 6:45 second mile, so that wasn't too bad. I'm going to try to get my times up here really quickly so I can tell you. Second mile was 6:47, so slowed down a little bit, but I was still doing okay. And then I had 6:51 for the third, 6:52 for the fourth, and the mile markers were a little bit farther out than what they usually were, and that was because of the fact that actually the 10K started up actually at the same spot the 5K is starting this year. So that was a little bit different than what it had been in the past. Usually the 10K was a little bit farther down, but I think because of construction they had to move it up this year. So the 3 mile mark was usually like before we went up over the bridge, but this year was a little bit farther. And going up that bridge wasn't exactly the greatest for me. I ran that pretty slow, going both ways, up and back. When we got to the 4 mile mark, it was, oh, there's a woolly caterpillar here. I'm gonna help out. Yeah. Oh, maybe you can't because in fact I'm not holding it in front of the camera. Whoops. I dropped it in the grass. I didn't even get it on camera. That was pretty stupid of me. Alright, I'm going to walk back the other way now. So anyways, after the 3rd mile, I was starting to feel a little sluggish a little bit, and the time results just went away on me again. Let's see if I can get them back here. Whoops, got the GPS going. So anyways, I was starting to feel just a little bit, sluggish by the time we got to the 3rd mile, or the 4th. During the 3rd and 4th miles, I could definitely feel myself starting to slow down, and that's kind of typical for me. For me, the hardest mile during a 10K isn't the first 3 miles, because that's 5K. It's usually that 4th mile for me is usually the one that I struggle with the most. I don't know why, it just is. It's probably because of the fact it's just such a tough mile. It's the second start. It's the start of the second half of the 10K, and it's just like, oh, you still got this far to go. And once I usually get done with the 4th mile, it's not too bad after that. Usually I can get myself going again. But the 5th mile today for me was a little slow. It was 7:12. So I was like, it's not looking too good. And actually, the turnaround point was a little bit farther. We ran under the bridge under I-94, so you get to see the sign that says halfway between Detroit and Chicago. And then we went a little bit farther, turned around, came back. And I think the reason why that was a little slower too was because, like, the 4th and 5th miles a little bit slower, is because there's a lot of lots of winding out there on the trail, especially in those sections. There's just a lot of winding going on and back and forth, so it slows you down a lot. You always have to kind of pick up your pace once you get around a turn, so that was just a little sluggish for me there. And once we got to the 5th mile marker, then I was just picking my pace back up, and I could feel it, and I was right. I got a 6:58 last mile, so I was happy with that. I was able to pick up 14 seconds there between the 5th and 6th miles, especially because I was like slowing down every mile, which I wasn't too happy with, but it's not too bad. And then of course I had a nice little kick there to the finish line. I got the course at like 6.26 miles instead of, sorry that the sun's really in your face. 6.26 miles versus like a 6.2. So it was a little bit longer than what it was. I asked some people, they didn't really have it longer, so I don't know if I was just like weaving around a lot out there or something, which could have been the issue, but maybe it was just a little bit longer. So if it was, it was, because I got 148 for the last .2, which would have been about 28 seconds longer than what it usually would be for me for the last portion of the race there. So if that was the case, then I would have had 42:32 would have been my time, and that would have been only 39 seconds off my personal best. So I think that's what I really did run. And if I was only 39 seconds off my personal best, I was like, hey, you know what? That's not bad. And even only being 1:07 off isn't bad. So I'm hoping next year I can beat it. I know I was close this year. And this was my last 10K I was running this year. So it was really my last chance to beat it. But I'm not mad. I'm not upset. You know, I still had a good time, still had a good run. You know, it took second in my age group, so I'm still happy with that. And 43 flat, that's pretty good. And you know, I've ran good 10Ks really all year long, so I'm hoping next year to continue that and continue working hard and continue getting good times. Now I got to get ready for the 5K coming up here for the Peacock Strut. And like I said, we'll see what we can do for this. I ultimately want to break 20 minutes in the 5K again, and I was darn close. 20 flat at the Classic this year. I've had a lot of times right on the zeros. We'll see if I can do it, but I mean, I'm not gonna, if I don't during this race, I won't be too upset, but I at least like to try to get something under 21 minutes, if that. And we'll see what we can do with during the race. I mean, usually when you do a 10K and you do a 5K, I'm like, hey, guess what? That felt a lot shorter, and it does. So we'll see if we can continue that. So we'll see you at the start of the 5K.
Oh, he's first place in both. Look at that. First place in both.
That's Julian Boris, also our.
Scott, we can do this one.
Coming in, Scott Evans. Way to go,
Second
Scott.
place again.
Comes Michael.
Come on, Michael. Michael.
Come on, Michael.
Good job.
Come on, Michael. Run for the love of it, Michael.
Go, Michael, go.
Michael Walton from Richland. Way to go,
And
Mike.
2050. 2049,
Familiar
2050.
faces, aren't they?
2050 for the 5K you saw, and that one was definitely a little rough. Usually when I do both of these, it's not too bad, it's not too rough, you know, goes pretty well. That one felt a little rough for me, and reason why is right when we started, all of a sudden I got like a cramp like right on my right side. I was like, oh, I hope this isn't going to be the whole race. Now, it wasn't affecting my pace early on, but if that had lasted for the whole race, it would have definitely affected me. But thankfully, it disappeared by a half mile in, and I was good to go. My time, my paces weren't all that great for me. I ended up with like a 6:32 for the first mile, which I was like, okay, I can live with that one. Not too bad, but then I just started slowing down after that. I had, and of course it's the same route, and I did get 3.1 this time, so I wonder if my GPS was just a little off. Maybe, because it looked like it was having maybe some signal issues picking up the GPS right before the start of the race, so I wonder if that maybe affected where the mile markers were, because for the 5K they were right on spot. So maybe I had just something a little wrong with the GPS. But anyways, then I had and it's the same route too, except instead of continuing out on the Bicentennial Trail, you just turn around, which we all did this time, thankfully. There was plenty of people there to tell us where to turn around. And we turned around and came back. I tried picking up the pace, but it just didn't work really. So I had a 6:32 first mile, and then the second mile I had was 6:43. So it slowed down a little bit, but not too bad. But the last mile, I think, was almost like 7 minutes flat. I think it was like 6:59, if I'm not mistaken. Here, once I look down here, yep, I got 6:59 for the last one. So that one wasn't that great. And then I had 37 seconds for the .1, which was actually better than what I usually do. Usually it's about 40 seconds. So 20:50, it was a good time, even though it's slower than what I wanted. But I mean, running a 10K beforehand, it's going to slow you down a little bit. So I mean, it's good. I mean, it's like I'm not like upset I didn't do it or upset I did it. I'm glad I obviously ran. I'm happy with that. So and it, you know, I wasn't completely by myself the whole race. I started out sunny and now it's cloudy out. I'm getting a little foggy too. But anyways, the 10K champion was right in front of me, Marie Billen, just in front of me for part of the race, and then kind of pulled away from me. But I was just trying to keep her in my sight and keep my eye on her and stay as close to her as I could. But she definitely really pulled away from me there near the end of the race. She won the 5 and the 10K, so that was a great job by her. And funny thing, I actually finished 9th overall for both races in males. So I was 10th overall actually for everybody, for both races too, so that was good. I was first in my age group in the 5K from the looks of it, so that's good. Got another medal to add, and we'll look forward to the Run KDC 5K coming up here on September 29th in Kalamazoo, and we'll see what I can do. I might have to go out and maybe run a little faster during the start of these races, and just try to push myself a little harder, because trying to go the pace I want to go, it seems to me I'm not hitting it as I would like. I'm not hitting it in that first mile, and it slows me, and then I get slower. So maybe if I were to hit, go below it, maybe then I can, then if I had to slow down, just back myself off a little bit and, ease in, it would help. Or I could just continue pushing myself really hard, which is probably what I should do. So I've got to work on that a little bit, because my training pace is I've been running really well, hard workouts. So I should be going faster than what I am, but just not happening right now. But I'm sure I'll work on that. And I got this and the Portage Run, and then the Turkey Trot for Western, and then that's it for the racing season until 2019. So it's winding down here pretty quickly. But I mean, I hit 20 flat this year in a 5K and 42 flat in a 10K. So I know I can definitely push myself and get better as well. So we'll show you my medals, and we'll show off the shirt, because I forgot to do that, but I'll close off the video otherwise. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe for more content. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links in the description below. Until next time, this is Michael out, over now. Mikey's Crew, you guys are the best. Take care. Here's Kathleen modeling this year's shirt. It says Peacock Strut 10K. It's got the same design as I think it did last year and maybe the year before that, except this year it's red.
And the year before that.
That's 2013. It's a little different. That one's actually a cotton shirt. I'm glad that they started going to the tech shirts that they have here, and then we'll show all the sponsors on the back as well. And now we'll show off the medal. Now the 10K and 5K medals will be the same, except for the fact 5Ks will actually say 5K medals, obviously, but they're going to have the same design on it here. So it says Portage Community Center with the peacock, and it has your place in your age group, what age group you are, and what race you ran, and the name of the race, the Peacock Strut. So that's second place, and I'll have a first place one for the 5K.
Yay!
So they're going to be the same. They used to give out plaques here for like anybody in the age group awards. I'm glad they actually do medals now, because I actually have a ton of plaques.
He does.
I forgot. Thanks to Kathleen for coming and watching and filming.
You're welcome.
Thanks to my mom for coming and cheering me on today, too.
Always a pleasure, Michael, to see you rock the level.